Welcome to Salsido Paranormal. I'm your host, James Salsido, and tonight I am talking about haunted places in the U.S. And as always, you can find all episodes of the show along with links to social media, ways to listen, and ways to support the show at the website, and that is salsidoparanormal.com. That's SALSIDO paranormal.com. And support is there's many ways to support the show. If I could do the introduction in the right way. That would be sharing the show with others and rating and reviewing it on your favorite podcast platforms. You can also sign up for the Patreon feed and get extra shows whenever possible, including the backlog of all the shows there for as little as $1 a month. And you can check out the merchandise store where we have all kinds of shirts and some other items with designs made by friends of the show. And support is never expected, but always appreciated, as there are expenses in making these shows. And please also follow friends of the show online and with their own projects. That would be Jen, the Arcane Observer, who has her own channel and is also the co-host of this show whenever possible on Saturdays. And Michael Strange of Trouble Minds Radio and the Trouble Minds Radio Network, KUAP Digital Broadcasting, where you can hear all kinds of amazing shows 24/7 online for free. And as always with these haunted places shows, a couple of things I want to point out. Um, so how I do these, I find I do a search and then get a summary about each place I talk about, and then I share the links, a couple of links to sources on the episode description, so you can check out those and then start your own research if you want to. And part of that research should be if you're interested in going to these places. Not all of them will be that will not be possible for all of them, and things can change over time. So if you hear about a place that you're interested in and you think you want to go there, please do your own research to make sure that is possible at the time whenever you decide to do this, because things can change, ownership and all that, and I never recommend trespassing for all kinds of reasons. So, um, so yeah, let me get to the file here and go from there. Thank you all for being here and getting closer to Halloween, which is always amazing. So, let's see here. We're still in Indiana. I always have to check because I'm actually quite a ways ahead on the research. Um, so, the next location we're on here is the Story Inn in Nashville, Indiana. It's celebrated for its historic charm, as well as its enduring reputation as one of the most haunted inns in the Midwest, particularly due to tales of the mysterious Blue Lady. Of course, that's a common. It's almost as common, but not quite, as the White Lady, Lady in White phenomenon as well. So, getting into the historical background here, the village of Story was founded in 1851 when Dr. George Story, that'd be an amazing last name to have, received a land patent from President Millard Fillmore. During its peak, 1880 to 1929, Story boasted two general stores, a church, a schoolhouse, a grain mill, a sawmill, and various homes and businesses, thriving as a lumber town. The Great Depression and subsequent creation of Lake Monroe led to the town's isolation and population decline, with uh, state confiscation of land for park use, leaving Story nearly deserted. In the late 20th century, preservationists restored the village transforming its centerpiece, the old general store, into the Story Inn. Today, the entire town operates as an inn, restaurant, and event venue. Uh, let's see, hosting visitors in distraction-free historic rooms. The haunting legend. The Story Inn is celebrated for the legend of the Blue Lady, believed to be the spirit of Dr. Story's wife. The Blue Lady is most commonly reported in rooms above the inn's restaurant, especially the garden room. Paranormal experiences include sightings of a spectral blue lady, often accompanied by the scent of cherry tobacco. Unexplained blue items found by guests after stays. That's fascinating. Accounts left in guest books detailing apparitions, lights, and strange noises. Guest books are kept as a tradition and preserved in the attic once full. That'd be some fascinating reads. Some guests purposely attempt to summon her by turning on a designated blue light in the garden room. The inn does not feature modern distractions like TV or radios in its rooms, further amplifying its historic and spooky ambience. Paranormal reputation and visitor experience. The Story Inn hosts events, weddings, and is well known in paranormal circles for their nightly ghost stories and preserved guest records of supernatural encounters. Its preservation as a historic district and listing on the National Register of Historic Places cements its status as a destination for both uh, history and hauntings. And so basically that's it. And again, I'll whenever I do these shows, I include links and articles, and usually they have pictures. But you can always check out, excuse me, um, the locations for yourself just through basic searches online. To find more pictures, I'm sure. So, um, but yeah, I like that in the way that it's a legend, but it's not like a lot of times when they say there's a legend in a place, it's about some horrible event that happened. Um, and which to explain the apparition that is seen there. I sort of like that, at least in what I found with this research anyway for this location. It doesn't really say that. So um, anyway, moving on to the next location here. This is the Rhodes Hotel in Atlanta, Indiana. You know what's fascinating to me is, and just as a side note, in doing the research for all these shows, is the number of names that are names of major cities or bigger cities in one state, but they're also the names of other towns in other states, um, like Nashville or even Roswell. I forget. I think it was Georgia. There's a Roswell in Georgia. Just these different names of places where you see the name and you think it's in one state, and then you find out there's a town or a city by the same name in another state. I think that's actually pretty neat. Let me see here. So the Rhodes Hotel in Atlanta, Indiana, is a landmark rich in both local history and paranormal legend, thanks to decades of reported ghost sightings and tragedies linked to its past. Now, again, that doesn't surprise me given that it's a hotel. Um, all kinds of things, events, uh, just you never know. It's a temporary home in a way, but also it's a place people can go to not be at home to do either good things or unfortunately bad things. So it doesn't surprise me. The Rhodes Hotel was built in 1893 by Abraham Kaufman for Newton and Clara roads, designed to capitalize on the Indiana natural gas boom and serve railroad travelers and fortune seekers. The hotel features 22 rooms and quickly became a social and travel hub in Atlanta, a town that grew rapidly with the expansion of nearby industries and rail connections. After the natural gas boom declined, Clara Rhodes uh, kept the hotel operating by transforming it into a brothel and speakeasy, reportedly with hidden rooms and trick doors installed for clandestine activities during Prohibition, which was, of course, the time when any kind of alcoholic beverages were prohibited. The hotel remained in operation until the early 1930s, later being converted into apartments and undergoing periods of vacancy and uh, restoration. I bet you there was some, if there was any kind of activity when it was a hotel still, I bet you there's some stories from when it was apartments. Anyway, it is notable for Queen Anne style architecture and retains many of its original architectural details. The building is listed on the National Register of Historic Places since 1987 and continues to attract visitors interested in history and hauntings. Haunting legends and excuse me, and paranormal activity. The hotel is renowned for being one of Indiana's most haunted sites, with multiple reported deaths within its walls. Uh, Clara, Newton, and their son Everett all died in the hotel, as did several guests, including, well, they talk about manners of deaths there, but we won't go into that. The spirit of Everett Rhodes, who died of tuberculosis at 18 within the hotel, is said to be one of several entities that linger. Paranormal, excuse me, paranormal phenomena include apparitions of men, women, and children, including reports of a prostitute named Sarah haunting her second floor bedroom. Uh, Disembodied voices, footsteps, lights turning on and off, doors opening and closing, and temperature drops in certain rooms. That's quite a lot. A collection of uh, haunted dolls, disturbing EVP recordings, and uh, documented paranormal investigations by teams such as ghost hunters and paranormal investigators. Huh, I don't know what that one is, but that could be an error. Notorious visitors like Al Capone and John Dillinger are said to have briefly stayed during their travels, adding to the building's infamy, though documentation is largely anecdotal. Tours and public investigations. The hotel is open for overnight paranormal investigations, historical tours, and events, and inviting guests to experience its historic and supernatural ambience. Ownership actively supports ongoing renovations and public engagement focused on both preservation and paranormal research. I do like that they're trying to preserve the place, but they're also open to these other possibilities as well. So, um, so yeah, that's a neat one there as far as all the history goes. And I don't know, sounds like an active location, especially if you had tuberculosis going on there. I imagine that could have caused some of the deaths, unfortunately. But yeah, and one moment here, and I'll move on to the next one. So, now I've never heard of this next town name before, but seems different anyway. This one is and I'm not joking here, and I don't mean any offense to anyone that lives there, but the next town name is French Lick Springs Hotel, and this French Lick is the name of the town. So this hotel in Indiana is renowned as a grand historic resort originally built around mineral springs, reputed for their healing powers. And it is also noted for its enduring uh, ghost stories, there we go, and paranormal lore. Historical background. The hotel was founded in 1845 by Dr. William A. Bowles, Bowles, who recognized the therapeutic potential of the local mineral springs and built the first wooden hotel structure to serve patients and travelers. The hotel gained regional and national fame for its miracle waters, in quotation marks there, most notably Pluto water, which was bottled and sold for its purported health benefits. In 1901, Indianapolis politician Thomas Taggart purchased and completely renovated the resort, modernizing, expanding, and converting it into a premier year-round luxury destination. The French Lick Springs Hotel became one of America's most fashionable resorts in the early 20th century, drawing celebrities, politicians, and even presidents for its uh, baths, golf, and gambling, some of it illicit. Uh, After periods of decline and changing ownership, the hotel was significantly restored and reopened in 2006. Today it is a centerpiece of the French Lick Resort complex and listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Haunting legends and paranormal activity. The hotel is known as one of Indiana's most haunted locations, with uh, stories spanning decades and involving both guests and staff. Common legends include the ghost of Thomas Taggart, who is said to still roam the hotel, occasionally appearing in the service elevator and leaving behind the scent of tobacco. Reports of spectral parties, a phantom celebration, allegedly echoes from the ballroom on otherwise quiet nights. That is fairly common in larger places like that. Um, though you'll hear the sounds of a gathering and there won't be anyone there. Apparitions of a red-haired bellhop, ghostly bartenders, maids, and mysterious shadowy figures have been reported by both guests and workers. That's fascinating. Um, you even have ghosts of staff there. Unexplained activity includes lights turning on and off, objects moving without explanation, ghostly laughter, and cold spots in certain wings of the hotel. The sixth floor is especially notorious for strange occurrences, shadows, and alleged poltergeist activity. Paranormal investigators and historians frequently visit, and the hotel hosts ghost tours and special events centered around its haunted reputation. So, let me just look and see how long the next one is here. Okay. So, again, you have a hotel that has a lot of history, and it doesn't surprise me. I do want to get on to this next location here because I love the name in a way. This is the Slippery Noodle Inn. in Indianapolis. I kind of just like that. So this is both the state's oldest continuously uh, operated bar. There we go, and one of its best known haunted sites. With a long, colorful history and frequent reports of paranormal activity. Uh, the Slippery Noodle Inn opened in 1850 as the Tremont House and stands as Indiana's oldest continuously operated bar in its original building. Uh, Over the years, its name changed several times from Concordia House and Germania House, reflecting its German heritage, to Beck's Saloon and Moore's Beer Tavern before finally becoming the Slippery Noodle Inn in 1953. During the Civil War, it allegedly served as a stop on the Underground Railroad, offering sanctuary to people seeking freedom. In Prohibition days, the bar operated as a restaurant but continued to make beer in the basement. The establishment was also used by the infamous Brady and Dillinger gangs for target practice. That's quite a thing to do, with some bullets reportedly still embedded in its walls. Through the early 20th century, it housed a brothel, which remained uh, open until 1953, when a fatal stabbing occurred during an argument between customers over one of the women. That's lovely. Uh, so it talks about different people that have stayed there, social clubs, and everything. Let's get to the paranormal reports because we're running low on time here. Reports of hauntings have circulated for decades, with most centered around apparitions tied to the bar's lawless and tragic past. One of the best known ghosts is George, in quotation marks, said to be a former caretaker who haunts the basement, often seen wearing overalls and known for startling workers and whispering in their ear. The spirit of a cowboy, believed to be the victim of the brothel knife fight, has been encountered throughout the building. Numerous reports mention spirits of former workers, with the ghost of a woman known as Sarah frequently seen in the former upstairs brothel, especially by men who these spirits are reputed to dislike. Let's see here. And the basement is said to harbor the ghosts of formerly enslaved people who hid there during the Underground Railroad era, with cold spots and more, shadow figures and all that. But we are out of time. Thank you all for listening, and I will talk to you all next time on Salsido Paranormal. Take care.